You know, there's been times when I wanted to see every single one of those fucking things in the river. But, this song actually has a lot to do with that sort of spirit of the immigration of people and culture and, you know, language from one part of the world to the other. That's just what human beings do. We are migratory beasts. And living in New York City, that's like, that's the lifeblood of New York City is immigration. It always has known. My neighborhood in New York was originally considered to be an Italian neighborhood. Probably Greenwich Village is Greenwich Village because the first espresso machines in America were right there in that 3 or 4 block area. It's nowadays there's a grocery at the end of my street, just like every street in New York, there's a deli. And that's a new experience for someone that comes from Texas and lived in Tennessee for 30 years, the whole concept of an East Coast deli. Because, yeah, you can get a sandwich there, but what it really is a convenience store that's open 24 hours a day on steroids. You can get all the bad convenience store stuff that you can think of there. Plus, the one in my street has pretty good produce, and a lot of what I eat comes from there. The family that owns that deli, it was probably originally owned by an Italian family, but it's been there for almost 100 years. And it's owned by a family, a gentleman named Mr. Kim. And he was born in Korea. He's raised a family there. And Mr. Kim impresses me on a lot of levels. He speaks Korean, which impresses me because it sounds like a tough fucking language to me, even though it's his native language. But he also speaks English better than I do. His kids speak English better than both of us. Some of them work in the store when they're home from college, so I know a couple of them. And well into middle age, because he's a few years older than I am, Mr. Kim found it necessary, and this is what impresses me the most about him. He found it necessary to learn a third language because of changes in New York City and changes in his business. And that language is Spanish, which he now speaks fluently and beautifully. Now, I am from San Antonio, Texas. I literally grew up in occupied Mexico. And my Spanish is fucking embarrassing. I can order from a menu, and I can, you know, shop a little, and I know when to run. And that's really which embarrasses me, and there's no excuse for it. Teach your children to speak, make sure they learn to speak Spanish or Mandarin. Those are the two most widely spoken languages in the world. Otherwise, we're going to keep getting our asses kicked out there. We're less in the smaller areas. And this is, as far as I can tell, all of a sudden we talk about immigration, people lost their fucking minds in Arizona. And as far as I can tell, Mr. Campbell, and Miss Campbell, they're already American there.
Thank you.